All right, man. And we are rolling. What's up, guys? How's it going? Thanks for stopping by. We're going to be talking about The Last of Us Part 2. So if you haven't beat the game, maybe come back at a different time. But yeah, man. What's up, dude?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. How's it going?
It's going, man. Just surviving like everyone else.
Yeah.
Gaming.
Yeah, it's a weird time, but video games is here for us, and
Yep.
can't complain about that. But today we're gonna be talking about The Last of Us Part 2, man.
Great game, bro. Have very little complaints about it.
I have a few, but we'll get into all that. How many times have you beat it?
Just once so far.
Okay.
I just want I'm thinking about doing New Game Plus, but I'm also thinking of just waiting for
Yeah,
New Game Plus on PS5 I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring that, but so far just once, letting it sink in for a bit.
I'm definitely gonna play this one again a third time on the PS5, hoping at that point like there's probably like 60 frames per second and everything.
It'd be a crime if there wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, there's so much to talk about. Where do you want to get started?
Uh, let's just jump in the beginning, man. Beginning of the game.
All right, so this is my thing, right? And I've wanted to talk about this for a while. Um, I love the story of The Last of Us Part 2. I think, for a lot of people, it doesn't, they're not happy about it. But to me, like,
Yeah.
after the ending of the first one, like, I feel like logically, this is a great story to kind of like continue on. Like I
Yeah.
said, it may not, not everybody might like the approach, but it was I think it was done like really well, like story wise, obviously gameplay, we'll get into all that stuff, but like story wise, I think it was really bold. Like I had no idea that I was going to be playing as a second character
Uh-huh.
by the second half of the game, but like I just thought it was done really well. Like, all right, here's this character, Abby, and they kind of tied it into like, okay, Joel killed her dad, and she came for revenge, and that created this whole like it's a revenge story, it's a cycle of violence story, and then like obviously at the end there I felt empathy, I felt like these characters found some sort of light. um yeah, I mean, let's talk about that. Let's talk about
Yeah.
what do you think about the story?
It's definitely Naughty Dog's most polarizing and bold story they've ever told.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, it's one of their top two stories for me, up there with Uncharted 4. I'm just for Uncharted 4. I'm just a big Goonies guy. I love pirates, so I really
Yeah.
resonated with that well. But this just a bold statement, you know.
Oh,
It's
for
just a
sure.
work of art. I I don't know if when the leaks came out, if you saw any of them or if you steered cleared, but I knew that Joel died, but I didn't
Hmm.
know where he died. I figured it'd be the end of the game,
Hmm.
but for him to die within the first hour really caught me off guard. I'm like, man, there's a whole
Yeah.
20 hours of unknown, so I'm just gonna give it a shot. And it was really good, bro. Like gameplay.
Yeah, for sure. Here's the thing with me, like with when it comes to the
Uh
leaks, because we could talk about the game, right? And then we can
huh.
also talk about all the things that happen around the game, obviously the negativity, the
Uh
toxicity, and
huh.
everything. But like when it comes to the leaks of this game, I tried my best to steer away.
Uh
But
huh.
like I'm pretty active on Twitter, so I like to just check things out. But
Uh huh.
I would see like these images of like a golf club and then
Uh huh.
Joel. So I kind of got hints of like, yo, Joel is probably getting his ass kicked, but I had no idea he was gonna die.
Yeah.
And to me, like that, and especially in like that happened in like the intro of the game,
Mhm.
the first intro of the game. So that was very shocking to me. Here is this character that like he survived everything, and then all of a sudden, and like this is where I get some people. I understand they have this attachment with Joel, right?
Yeah.
The first one is an amazing game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Single
Yeah. It's top
player.
five easily.
Yeah, and like the fact that they took this character and they killed him, like I totally get it, but at the same time, here's my thing. What I love about The Last of Us 1 and 2 is like there are no heroes or villains. Like this isn't about, if you're good or bad. This is like these are stories about people that you try to relate to, but you really can't because they live in a post-apocalyptic world. And
Uh-huh.
and they tell a story of like these characters. And what I like about The Last of Us Part 2 is it kind of ventures a little bit further out than just the story of Joel. Like it gave you a perspective of Abby. And I thought the perspective was awesome. Like in the beginning of her, when you first start playing as her, you know, the natural like feeling is like, fuck this character. I don't want to play as this character. Like she killed Joel.
Uh-huh.
But as you like, this is how good Naughty Dog is, and this is where I think people like I lose some people here, but I loved it. I loved that we got to play as her, and we got to see her perspective, and like and just all of that. Like the way it was done was done really well. It may not be the story that everybody wanted,
Yeah.
but that doesn't deny the fact that this story was fucking good. The way
Yeah,
they told it. And you go ahead.
you just can't deny Naughty Dog. They're just, I would say they're
Dude,
the
they're
best in the business as
incredible.
far as stories go, dude. Like they're I would say it's beyond a game story. This
Oh,
thing could
dude,
be a movie. It
it's
could be.
like the fact that I finally put this game down, and like I had all of these emotions, dude. Like, and throughout my my experience with this game, like I laughed, I fucking felt
Uh-huh.
sadness, I felt pain, like, and I feel like not a lot of people in the industry can do that.
Oh
Like
yeah, very few.
by the end of the game, I was just like I was torn apart. Like, dude, just the fact that the whole Santa Monica, like the whole Santa Monica part where like, it turns back to Ellie and you have no idea what happened to Abby. And then next thing
Yeah,
you find her and she's tied up and she's lost weight and like
yeah.
she's
It's
gone through,
unrecognizable.
dude, and she's gone through so much pain and agony, and she's lost all of her friends.
Uh-huh.
And then like, there's that fight scene, like, dude, it's so touching, and it's so like it just lays a mark, man. It's so impactful, and it's deep, dude. Like I had to take a break from this game before I jumped back into the new game plus, because it was just, dude, it was like, I don't know, man. I really loved it. Even the part where like at the barn where people think, all right, this is my thing, right? Like the
Uh-huh.
the barn part was supposed to end, right? For a lot of people, that could have been like the happy ending. But here comes Tommy, and he's like, yo, I found where she's at. And in a way, this is what got me thinking. Like, if had Ellie never gone to Santa Barbara, had she never gone
Yeah,
there and pursued her, if you think about it, she saves her life at the end of the game.
yeah. She wouldn't have lasted another
Yeah,
couple days on that spike, bro.
and that's like kind of the beauty of like how dark this game is like like Ellie went to go kill her, but in a way, I felt like she found that light at the end,
Uh-huh.
at the very end, and she let her go, and it just gets me thinking, like, had Ellie not pursued that journey to find her, like, dude, yeah, she would have died. Like Abby would have died.
Yeah.
So
Abby would have died. Lev.
it's such a crazy game, man.
Yeah, it's just definitely something we're gonna be talking about for a long
For
time.
sure. And
I
like,
don't think we'll be
yeah,
talking about this as long as the first one, because the first one is just a timeless classic.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
definitely for at least 4 more years, we'll be talking about this game. And people can disagree with Neil Druckmann, what he stands for. We just can't deny
You
the
can't.
whole Naughty Dog as a whole.
Yeah, you
Because
can't.
Naughty Dog's more than just one person, man.
Of course.
People just have to realize that and just get
You
past
know,
their beliefs.
the thing with this game is like like this is the way I approach this game, right? I approached it with like a clear, open mind.
Yeah,
And
same here,
and
man.
and if you do that, I promise you, like for anyone who does that, they're not gonna
Yeah,
feel like any agenda is shoved. They're not gonna like just play the game and appreciate
yeah.
this game, and you're gonna fucking love this game. And that's the that
Especially
was
right now. No,
right.
we got nothing better to do right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, we played this game during a freaking pandemic. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's kind of ironic.
That's even crazier. Um,
But
what
go ahead.
about the gameplay, dude?
The best,
Shit, dude.
one of the best games as far as gameplay, man. You just cannot. I would
Oh
say
man.
it's up. That and Red Dead 2, I would say, is tied for
Yeah.
gameplay and just the level of detail,
Oh
like
yeah.
just to the limbs and the body parts flying off when you use shotguns or grenades, to
Incredible.
the just the way the AI is. It's one of the smartest AI I've seen. Um,
The fact
it's
that you
just
can go prone and like I love, this reminds me of like Metal Gear Solid 5, but like you can go prone and you can literally go 360 and you're like you're moving the character from like she can be on her chest and then all the way to her back, like aiming the gun and like to me that's a level of immersion that like just ties so well with the combat in this game,
oh yeah,
dude. And like this is the thing about this game too. It's like it's very violent, it's very dark, and that
yeah.
to me that's another bold approach. We've had games try to get torn apart by the media, by the mainstream media for like violence and like video games like and then here's the Last of Us Part 2, like not giving
Yeah.
two fucks, dude. And to me
Definitely not for kids.
this is the darkest and most violent I think game I've ever played in my life.
Oh yeah, I would say it's definitely up there. I would say it's up there with as far as how dark it is. I would say it's up there with Hatred. I've never played that game, but I have seen gameplay. It's definitely up there with
Hatred.
that.
I've never
So
played that.
about that,
Yeah.
it's that one where you play as as a mass shooter.
Oh wow.
It's like
I've
that
never
arcade
heard of
pop.
that.
I think it's only on Steam because no other consoles or anyone would put it on their platform for because what it stood for. But I never played it. But
Okay.
yeah, it's definitely a dark
I mean,
game. But
I think Hotline Miami's pretty dark, but that's like an
yeah,
indie
that's
game too.
dark.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Same
Like
thing with Hatred. It was an indie game.
yeah, right.
But yeah, it's definitely up there, man. Uh, just the graphics in this game. I was playing on a base
Oh, bro.
PS4. Even on the base PS4, man, it just looks incredible.
That's what's crazy about this game is like I really feel like it checks all the boxes. Like gameplay there, story there, graphics. Bro, like I live in the Northwest and like
Soundtrack.
soundtrack, like the fact that like they really captured that Northwest, that Seattle feel of like,
Oh yeah,
the
man.
vegetation and like, like, hey, this is Seattle, like post-apocalyptic. Like it really feels like it's been lived in, and it's just, it's done. So like the attention to detail. I mean, you can go back to like Uncharted 4 and you can look at that game and that's kind of, that's a couple years old now and it still looks
Hmm.
amazing.
Oh yeah, dude. Just I'd say Naughty Dog and Rockstar on another level as far as facial animation goes.
For
This
sure.
is it's just so lifelike. Even like on Uncharted 4,
Oh
I'd
yeah.
say it's one of those top 5 graphically impressive games this generation.
It really makes you wonder what, like the PS5 is going to do,
Oh
the
yeah,
next
man.
generation console is going to do. Um yeah, dude, but let's go back real quick to like the beginning of the game.
Okay.
Let's talk about Joel, right? Um this is one of the things that like when I took a few steps back, I was kind of like, I do wish that we kind of got maybe like another game out of Joel, you know?
Yeah, same here.
Like maybe the sequel to Last of Us Part 1 was Joel again, and then the third game we could have had this. So like I'm trying to find like this, this middle ground with people because like you said, this game is very polarizing. But yeah, dude, I don't know. Like I'm very happy I'm very happy with this game. Like I'm very happy with the outcome.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think as I get older, I've said this before, but like like I'm trying to respect people's creations. Like to me, this, like you said, like it wasn't one person that created this game, it was a team, and this is the direction that they chose to take, and it surprised the hell out of me. And by the end of the game, there was no way I could say that I disliked this game. Like I absolutely loved it. And
Yeah.
I the freedom to create a game is wonderful, and like the freedom to like surprise a gamer,
Uh-huh.
to me, like they did a phenomenal job. A phenomenal
Oh
job.
yeah, dude. Just they deserve all the praise they get, dude.
So what do you think about playing as Ellie and then playing as Abby?
To be honest, I actually enjoyed playing Abby sections more than I
Yeah.
enjoyed playing Ellie
I
sections.
hear that a lot.
Um,
Yeah.
in the beginning, of course, you don't really care about playing as her because you know what she did. But
Right.
the more you see her, like who she is as a person and what she's had, what she personally has had to go through, it's just you kind of just you get by the middle of her story, you get why she killed Joel. Like
For
in
sure.
this world, just no one's a good person in this world. If good people just don't survive.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, Abby's got the better weapons in my opinion. She's got the crossbow. She's got the flamethrower. She's got the better
Dude,
shotgun.
she is a beast, man.
Yeah,
Like
she's.
just attacking with her like with no like melee weapon. Bro,
Hmm.
like she's just punching the shit out of
Uh huh.
people and just like using her, like her gains and shit.
Yeah,
But I
but
loved playing as her, man.
yeah, I feel she has the more. I feel she has the more memorable parts of the game. Of course, with Ellie, you got that insane section in the hospital where you're facing Laura, I believe her name was. But
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, she had that one section. Then
Where she
one
dropped down into the like the red light area
yeah,
and she
that
was
was very memorable.
oh yeah,
But
for sure.
Abby, she has
Bro,
the
she fought that fucking monster, dude. Like
yeah, she got the Rat
the
King at the
Rat King.
hospital. She's got the nest in the hotel.
She fought a
She's
lot
got
of the Sapphites, the
yeah,
scars. She fought a lot of those
the
dudes.
scars. She's got the yeah, she got the set piece at the end.
She did.
Um,
She had an amazing kind of like little um
to be honest, I would go as far as saying this was Abby's game and Ellie was just part of it.
well, it's funny you mentioned that because when I opened up my collector's edition and I got to hold my steel book,
Yeah,
the front is Ellie, the back is
it's Abby.
Abby. Yeah, it's Abby. And
Yeah, I got
before I played the game, I was like, wait, who the fuck is that? Like I had no idea who Abby was before before I played this game. And I thought it was gonna be Joel because I remember seeing a steel bookcase with Joel on the back, and I don't know if that's
yeah.
like I don't know if that's Europe or UK
That
or
was the was it like an all black one?
I'm not sure.
Because I know the very first one, it had the front was Ellie and the back was Joel, but it was all black for
From
the
the
very
first
first
game?
Last of Us.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
for the
No,
PS3.
I remember seeing the Last of Us Part 2 because it has the same
Uh huh.
cover as the one that I have with Ellie,
Oh, okay.
but the back
Yeah,
is
it's probably
Abby.
Europe.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I think it was. But to me, I was like completely like kind of I was like, who's that? And why isn't at least Joel in the back? But
Right.
um dude, yeah, Abby, I feel like Abby went through a lot in this game, and
Uh huh.
I think that was what they were trying to do, and I really like that. I really like that kind of approach. Is like, hey, we're gonna throw all this, and we're gonna make you feel some sort of way about Abby, and like she did, like she went through a lot of shit, and she even cared for Yara and Lev. You know,
Yeah. When at first she didn't really care about them, but then
she
she
didn't give
grew
a
to like
shit.
them.
I liked her character development. Like
Yeah.
she changed. You know, she found like she found empathy for like the enemy and everything.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, dude. Like some of her parts in the game were like it made Resident Evil run for their money,
Oh yeah,
man.
like even in the very beginning when she was at that ski lodge and that giant horde of zombies came out of nowhere in the blizzard,
Yeah,
that
that
was insane.
I really like the running kind of gameplay mechanics in this game. Like
Oh, and the dodge mechanic.
the dodge is awesome for sure. Um, as Abby, I remember you remember at the end of like the Scar village where you fight that one big ass dude.
Yeah,
Dude, that was to me that was like one of my favorite parts as playing as her.
yeah,
Like
it was insane.
that was an insane kind of like mini boss fight. Obviously the Rat King, that was dude, that was like I was like,
Yeah, the
yo.
Rat King I did not see coming. I didn't know that they were gonna bring in. I didn't know they were gonna bring a new type of boss infected into the game. I knew they were gonna bring at least one or two new, just
Well,
for general
in the
infected.
trailer they had like a super
Uh
loud
huh.
infected and like they cut it off. I remember
Uh huh.
and that
That's the thing. The
yeah.
last trailer I saw of this game
Oh yeah.
was the one where they showcased Abby, where she was in that forest and she got saved by Lev and all them. I think it was like E3, maybe. I think the E3.
They showed
The,
no, that was Ellie, wasn't it?
no, that was LA at E3. I think it was Paris Games Week that they showed Abby. But
They showed
yeah,
Abby? Dude,
yeah.
I don't remember seeing anything of Abby. I don't think
Yeah,
I
it's been a
ever.
couple years.
Okay.
But
Wow.
yeah, I think that or the one with Ellie in Seattle was the last thing I saw. I didn't see anything. I didn't see the story trailer. I didn't see anything else because I'm a firm believer is I don't like watching too many trailers because
I
sometimes you can
agree.
spoil yourself, especially with movies.
Yeah, with movies they do that a lot now. They put way too much.
Yeah, I watched the first two trailers and that's it.
For video game trailers, like to me, it just gets me hyped. Like the one
Oh
where
yeah,
the last one where like Joel is talking and he's like, you know, I know you wish things were different. Like that shit hits hard, dude.
yeah. That's the one character I feel like they did dirty was what's his name?
Jesse?
Jesse. Yeah,
Yeah, Jesse.
because he
Like
was there. I thought we were gonna do something with him. Come in.
that's another thing is I felt like they killed off a little too much characters because like say you're making a 3, it would have been nice for example for like Owen to come back or Jesse to come back. Jesse was a character that like I was starting to feel kind of like all right, like he you know I liked him. You know, he was kind of a leader. He came back to kind of help Ellie out. And the way he just dies, dude, is like just shot to the dome right away. And I felt like it was a little dirty.
Yeah, because I feel like I thought like he would help. I knew he would eventually die, but I thought he would like die like saving Dina or Ellie or something, not just
I thought
die
Dina
in
was
like
gonna
2 seconds.
die in that moment because Abby was like, you remember that part? She was like
She's
bashing her
pregnant.
head. She was
Yeah.
bashing her head. She bashed her head like 3 times, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Fuck, dude, here comes." This is what I like about this part in the game is that I know we're kind of all over the place, but fuck it, it's a podcast.
Yeah.
The part where, dude, like, Abby just went to the aquarium. She saw that Owen and what's her name? What's the Mel? You know,
Mel. Yeah.
yeah, they're dead. And that's where she makes her way to the movie theater. And dude, she like at this point she's done. Like she wants to kill. And it also makes you think in this moment like she was gonna kill Dina, but Lev stopped her.
Yep.
Dude, like fucking Abby could have killed Tommy, Dina, and Ellie right there.
The first time I played, I thought she did kill Tommy because she shot him in the
I
back of the
did
head.
too. I did too. And then Tommy comes back.
His
I
eyes all messed up.
Yeah, I honestly thought he died as well. But dude, Abby's a beast. You know, she lost a lot, and
Yeah.
I felt like, in a way, like she let Ellie and Dina live. So in my opinion, like when it comes to the story, like Ellie should have left it there.
Yeah.
Out of
'Cause this is
respect, right? Like out of
yeah,
respect,
'cause
like
she could have killed you twice already, but she
exactly.
let you go both times.
She let you go in the beginning, and this is where I respect Owen as a character because Owen, like everybody wanted to like kill Ellie and Tom and like kind of like
Yeah.
not leave a
No witnesses
trace.
type
Yeah,
of thing.
exactly. And like Owen steps in and he's like, this is not going to make us any better than Joel. It
Yeah, this
kind
has
of it
nothing to do with them.
exactly. And I just it gave me respect for Owen as a character.
Owen, yeah, I liked Owen throughout the whole game. He
I
was a
did
good
too.
character.
And then so yeah, like you said, like she kind of let Ellie live twice. And then here comes Ellie at the end of the game. But this is the thing. I don't blame Ellie. I don't blame any of these characters.
Uh,
I don't even blame Joel. But like Ellie Ellie pursuing Abby in the very end is almost like a promise she made deep down for Joel.
yeah,
Because she here's this character who's kind of like a father figure, and she felt like she had to stop at nothing.
yeah.
And
She just needed closure.
yeah, but and here's another thing that I feel like a lot of people are not happy with, and I disagree with, but like people are not happy at the fact that like she didn't kill Abby, and I'm like, are you serious, dude? Like everything that Abby went through, and like here comes Ellie. Like Abby's like done at this point. She's exhausted. She can't fight,
Yeah,
and
nah,
in a way, this game did make Ellie feel like a bad character.
yeah.
You know,
I and I also didn't really care for the flashback where she. I like the flashbacks, but I was gonna say I don't care how she was treating Joel. I feel like that was kind of uncalled for. Like,
yeah, that was weird. But I also get it. If you look back at the
yeah,
flashbacks, right? Like Joel, you remember the flashback where they fight the bloater with
yeah,
Joel? Like
in the hotel.
yeah, Joel straight up lied to Ellie again. So he did everything he could to bury that truth, and then
Uh huh.
it was only until Ellie confronted Joel one last time outside the hospital that he broke down and he was like, this is what happened.
Yeah,
So I kind of do get it, because Ellie confronted him about like, hey, like tell me the truth, what happened here? And he lied to her, twice, pretty deep.
yep,
So I
yeah,
I do get I do kind of get Ellie's, perspective on that, like why she didn't want to talk to him, why she was mad at him, right? Like that makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, what I also like is it's mainly just a series of unfortunate events, man. Because there is really no bad people on either side of this. Because Abby's dad wasn't a bad man. Like he saved that he really cared about life. You could tell because he saved that zebra from the fence, and he was tracking it. He knew it was pregnant
That's a really
and
good
all
point,
that.
because in that cutscene where like he's talking to, I forgot her name, the fireflies, like he broke
Marlene.
Marlene. Yeah, he kind of broke down because he realized like he's gonna have to kill this kid
Yeah,
to get the cure. And like it's not like, like Abby's friends and family, like her dad, like I don't think they were necessarily bad people. It was just like it was their, like they showed their story.
hmm,
And even the scene with Ellie where she killed Mel and Owen, like she didn't want to kill them. Like it's not like she was like this bloodthirsty person. Like she was like, "Yo, tell me where she is on this map, and I'll let you guys go." And and Owen kind of jumped the gun on that, if you
yeah,
remember. So and then Ellie felt like she was like in this she was in this fight, and then she killed them both. But obviously from Abby's side or point of view, she doesn't know that. She just went into the room and she saw blood and she saw them dead. She had no idea that she didn't want to kill them. Like Ellie didn't want to kill those people. She was looking for Abby. And
yep,
and that's the thing about this whole game. What makes this game so special, I feel like, when it comes to the stories, like it's all perspective. It's all
yep, exactly.
it's two characters. It revolves around these two characters, and it's all perspective. And when you really dissect the story, like it really makes sense.
Yep.
But
It's
yeah,
it's just an insane game, bro. Like
it is,
think
dude.
it's just from beginning to end. I feel the only thing I wish that they would have done was show uh just Abby's decline while she was being kept prisoner in Santa Barbara. I feel like they should have at least had a one more section in there
I
showing
agree with
her
you.
like being put up on the pole or her get her head shaved or something like
Or
that.
maybe just a little bit of like some sort of closure on her part because okay,
Yeah.
like when you beat the game, right? You get like the like the menu changes, right? And it's the boat and it's so it sounds like she made her way to the Fireflies.
Yep.
Correct, right? Like correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I got.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, it didn't good.
I kind of wish like we got to see a little bit more of that like
Uh-huh.
maybe like yeah, shed a little bit of light on like okay, like what happened. Um yeah.
Yeah, you just see her right off in some fog and that was it. You didn't know if she made it to her boat or she was going or anything. Like if they do make a third game, I honestly feel they'll probably be focused on Abby
Yeah.
if they do.
Dude, that ending swear to god that ending like tore me apart.
Yeah, this that cut the one that got me was the last flashback cutscene with Joel and Ellie on the porch and he's drinking coffee.
Hold on. We'll talk about that
Okay.
before that. You remember the farm part where Ellie had PTSD?
Yeah.
You remember that? Like she was grabbing the goat, that last goat, and like that flashback, that PTSD flashback of Joel getting like whacked. Bro,
Yeah.
that part, like I was talking to some friends about that part. Like that part fucking hit me so hard because it's just like it to me it gave me the impression that like Ellie is not over his death. And like the way I just felt like the way they portrayed that moment, like you know, the lightning, the thunder or whatever, the barn door closes. She gets that flashback and then she's running down the steps and then she's trying to open the door. She hears Joel yelling. Dude, that whole part, like I'm playing this game at like 2 a.m. in the morning,
Yep.
headphones on, dark. Bro, that like I had goosebumps at that part because I was like, holy shit. And like, yeah, that part hit me. And then yeah, the flashback with Ellie, I'm assuming that's after the bar scene where
Yeah,
uh
I'm assuming that too.
yeah, so like it's just continuing on. Yeah, that part was kind of hard because I think that was the last time Ellie spoke to Joel, right?
Yep.
And she was like, you know, I can try to find, you know, forgiveness or whatever. I don't exactly remember what she said exactly,
Yep.
but
And she said she's willing to try.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And then next thing you know, Joel dies.
Yeah, it was a cool little Easter egg with the coffee though. Nice little throwback to the first game.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
But
Joel loves his coffee.
yep. Who doesn't, man?
Exactly.
But what was your favorite for me, my favorite part of the game had to have been uh when it was with Abby and then you're going to that hotel with the nest.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing was so suspenseful because I wasn't
Oh
playing on
yeah.
Survivor, but I was playing on the difficulty underneath it,
Uh
and all the clickers, the
yeah, I
bloaters,
remember
just
that play.
just the place because what were they called? Not runners, but stalkers, I think.
Yeah,
They were
stalkers.
jumping from the wall because you had to watch all your surroundings.
I
That
really
whole
like the
part was
fact
suspenseful.
it was. I really like the fact that they had them on the walls and then they came out.
Yes,
Dude, that like bro, like I'm telling you, like the horror aspect of this game was done like insanely well.
that
And
was great.
I love horror games. I love, you know, survival horror and like obviously this game is it's like two parts. Like you fight the human AI, the enemies, and then you fight like this
Mhm.
infected. And I love that. I love the fact that, and I really feel like they ramped up the infected in this one.
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
the clickers sound even more terrifying and intimidating. Is it the runners? The
Yeah, the
runner,
runners are relentless.
dude. They will like come in packs, and yeah, they are relentless. They definitely upped the adrenaline and like the fear factor, and everything when it came to the infected. I love the infected parts, and Abby definitely had the better infected parts of the game for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
That flamethrower was badass, dude.
Oh yeah,
The shock the double barrel with the incendiary. I can't say that.
Incendiary rounds.
Incendiary, the fire
Yeah.
shotgun. That shit was sick, dude. I love killing those guys, and there were moments in that game for sure with the headphones and everything, like your heart is racing.
Oh
That's
yeah.
the
Especially when you go
yeah.
ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Especially when but after my second favorite part after the hotel was when you're Abby and you have to go find the medical supplies, and you're
Yep,
in the bottom, you're in the first
dude.
floor of the hospital, and you
Yeah.
just all the lights are flickering, and you hear the clickers,
That's what's
and
crazy too is like she went from like the hotel to the hospital like back to back,
yeah, it's like no break.
and if you paid attention, like that bottom part of the hospital was like nobody touched, and that was like from
Since
the
it started, yeah.
yeah, so that's why like it made kind of sense that the Rat King, like he had time to kind of like mutate and everything.
Yeah, I
uh
want to know what it was built out of, like what mushed together. Obviously, some what's it
well,
called?
he came out of the hole that
Stalkers.
yeah, it was like a bunch of like just infected. I think if you look at the if you unlock his character kind of model in the
Uh
game,
huh.
if you look like I think the reason why he's called Rat King is because like a part of him is a rat, like a giant rat on
Uh
the
huh.
back of him. Um, dude, fighting that guy, God, man.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't have a really problem finding him, which is that last
Thing that
uh
came out of him,
yeah, the last stalker it was
was
such a
power.
bullet sponge. I was already
Yeah,
low on him as it is.
yeah,
So I really
yeah.
had to scavenge to kill that thing, dude.
Dude, yeah, I remember running around, just trying to find ammo, trying to survive. Um, like sick ass fight scene.
Oh yes.
Definitely like
The-
the horror in that in the game.
I wish Naughty Dog would make like just a full on horror game.
Yeah,
I feel like they could definitely do it.
dude, for
Yeah.
sure. I feel like they can do anything and tie like a pretty badass story to it.
Oh yeah.
I feel like they definitely upped their game when it comes to just everything, like the game engine, the gameplay. The gameplay was very very like fluid, and the animation was done so like if you go back and play the first one and then you jump into this one, like dude, it's
Oh
like
yeah.
it's
Night and day.
upgraded. um so I beat the Last of Us Part 2, and then I think I took a few days and I jumped back in. So I feel like playing this game in New Game Plus was definitely worth it because you pick up on things that you missed. Just kind of like little hints and stuff like that. Like a little, like the story makes a little bit more sense. You pick up on things that maybe made you scratch your head, but I like that. I think you should definitely go back and play it again.
Yeah, I definitely will. Probably like around next week when I have more time. Probably gonna go back in and play it on Survivor on New Game Plus.
I'd like to
And
I'd like to do Survivor as well. Yeah,
did you beat the first game on what's it called?
Grounded.
Crushing Grounded. There you go.
No,
Crushing's
no, I
Uncharted.
haven't. I haven't done that.
It's a pain in the butt, dude.
So,
Like it's
yeah,
pretty easy until you get to the school when the first bloater's there.
yeah.
That part will kick your butt for a couple hours.
It's
But
weird. It's weird with me. Like I like the challenging games. Like I like the Dark
mhm.
Souls and the Bloodborne and all that. But I feel like when it comes to kind of a more story driven game, I don't have a problem playing at least for the first time like normal. You
Same
know,
here.
and I think normal was a fair difficulty.
Still a fair difficulty, yeah.
Yeah, for The Last of Us too, for sure. Like there
Yeah.
there were times where because it's in a way it is a survival horror type game, like you are scavenging and you are looking for items. So and I feel like I've played enough of these games where I'm really good at like carefully managing my my inventory and
Yeah.
uh the
So we've had a
sneaking.
lot of these types of games in this generation, so it's
Yeah.
pretty common.
And I think the stealth aspect of this game was done very well too. Like done very
Oh
well.
yes. Yeah, especially when you had to go back and get Lev from the island.
Yep.
Uh, if you didn't sneak, if you go gung ho, you're just gonna die. There's just no way around it.
Dude, there were moments in this game where I wanted to just gun ho everything, and I did. Like for the majority of the part of the game, I killed everything. I killed dogs.
Hmm.
I killed everyone, mainly for the fact that like I wanted to clear an area and like kind of take my time and look for things.
Yeah.
That's mainly why I killed everything. But and
Yeah.
also just because of the gameplay was so good, like I didn't mind. Okay, like I would sneak around, right, and like I would
Uh-huh.
I would get caught, and I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna fight, and I felt like the transition from like stealth to combat was done good, and I enjoyed both aspects.
Yeah. The only annoying part of the game I found was that part right before you get to Jesse. I feel like there was just wave after wave after wave of enemies just coming through the houses and everything. And
I remember that.
I was low on ammo already as it is, so it took a I had to really sneak around them. I hardly killed anyone in that part because I was so low on ammo. I didn't have a melee weapon either.
That's funny, man.
But
Yeah,
I was on normal. I don't even want to think what how scarce the supplies are in Survivor.
I felt like on normal they did a pretty good job on like keeping bullets and items pretty scarce for sure.
Oh yeah.
What was your favorite weapon?
Weapon, I would have to say, huh,
Dude, I like that
probably the crossbow.
yeah, I was going to say the crossbow was sick, dude.
Especially when you get enough material to put a scope on it.
Yeah, and it became very accurate cuz that little white dot
Oh yeah,
for the I like that a lot, and then I like the double barrel shotgun.
yeah, that one too.
Just the
Um,
impact of that shot, like you don't even need like the fire rounds, like you can shoot that thing and it can blast clickers and it can do some damage. I love that weapon.
and I thought it was funny how we didn't really get an automatic weapon this entire game until you got to the very last bit with Ellie, once you got that suppressed
Yeah, and
submachine
I
gun.
I found I found it interesting that you couldn't customize that. Like in New Game Plus, you can't customize that weapon. It's the only weapon you can't customize.
Hmm,
Which I
interesting.
which I kind of wish you could customize, but even that gun, like even that weapon, like you don't get a lot of bullets for that. Like you might get,
Uh,
2 kills out of that thing before you had to switch guns.
what was your favorite section?
I had a few. I think I really like fighting the scars. Like I,
Hmm.
I like that whole part when it was like nighttime and like you're running around and with the torches, following Yara and Lev. I like that whole cutscene of like, uh, all right, they capture Abby and then she's tied up, and like this kind of shows her character how much of like a badass she is like she risked her life to kill that one chick,
Mm,
like because her feet is on a bucket, right, and she's tied on a she's tied up, and like she knew by letting go of that bucket that, and by like choking that chick out, that she wouldn't be able to get back on that bucket, and like, you know what I mean.
she could have hung herself.
Yeah, so she was like, I'm gonna fucking kill this bitch because she tried to kill me. And it kind of,
Yeah,
I feel like it shows that warrior kind of like, I don't know, mentality of her. She's a
yeah,
beast,
she's a
dude.
badass. Yeah, she's a beast for sure.
And then they saved her life. They cut her down, and then she felt like she owed them, she
Yeah,
owed them something. And to me that was like, that was great character development. Like she felt like, The fact that they saved her life, she needs to take care of them now. I like that. I love that.
I would say that's probably the most brutal part of the game. Is when they
Dude,
just freaking smash the bones in that girl's arm, bro.
dude, that part, and then as Abby was choking that lady, like Yara took the hammer and like
Yeah,
fucking dude, that whole part. I mean, we saw that I think that was in the E3, right?
yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
your Paris.
yeah, that whole part was crazy. To me, another section of the game that was pretty dark, and it kind of it kind of reminded me of like The Walking Dead and stuff like that, was the whole Santa Barbara part. Like they had the chain, they had like the infected on chains. It was like trafficking, human trafficking. It
You
was
definitely got like Walking Dead when Negan was first introduced. That's how his camp was.
exactly. It was like, to me, it was like this super dark kind of, like, California's beautiful, dude. Like, it's sunny, and then you have like, this post-apocalyptic, setting where like this group of people, the Rattlers, I think they were called.
Yeah, I think they were called the Rattlers.
Like, they're just doing these horrific things, dude. And like, to me, that I'm so glad they put that in the game. I'm really glad, like, they really added, like, I remember like finishing the game and I was like, I'm really glad they put that part of the game in there, because it wasn't over. Like, I didn't want to put this game down, and they kind of showed off like a different place in America, and here it is, and it's still pretty dark, and I like that. Like, I like that, just the whole scene of like, I mean, I went guns blazing in that part,
Yeah, same.
and like finding Abby. Dude, I remember seeing Abby, and Abby was like, "Oh, it's you," and I was like, "Who the fuck is this chick?" Like, I had
Right.
no idea it was Abby, dude. Like, the way they transformed her character.
Starved her.
Yeah,
Shaved her head.
hair shaved off, like skinny as hell. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know who this character was, and I like, at that moment I felt like this dread, and this feeling of like, holy shit, this is Abby. And like, it reminded me of like all the things that she endured. She lost her father, she lost all of her friends. She went through, like, it just reminded me of like all the things she went through, right?
She just had Lev left, and that was it.
Exactly. And like the way like she untied Lev, and like she carried him, like, it was just, dude, like that whole part was so fucking deep. And like, that was the part where like it really broke me. Like, far or very rare do games do that. Like, and I felt like in that moment, it like it's one of my favorite parts of the game, because how heavy it was, and what it like, the feelings that I felt, for sure, that part. And then you fight, and then you're Ellie and you're fighting Abby. Like, yeah, that whole part was crazy, dude. Fucking
Was there
bold.
was there anything about this game you didn't like?
Uh, we talked about Jesse dying. I felt
Yeah,
like I felt like they killed way too many characters off.
yeah.
So like, let's say there's a part 3. I feel like too excuse me, too many characters died that they could have. I felt like they could have kind of developed their characters more in a sequel.
Yes.
Um,
Especially on Abby's side of things.
yeah, like I said it before. I think Owen. It would have been nice to. I didn't like Mel, dude. I thought she was
I didn't
annoying.
care for her.
I
She was
didn't.
a bitch.
I thought she was annoying, and I like that scene in the aquarium where she was like, "You're a piece of shit. You've always been a piece of shit." I like that scene because Abby was like, "What?" Because she thought that the only reason she was helping the Scars, Yara and Lev, was to like, uh, uh, to get like Owen's attention. You know what I mean? To show like
Yeah.
she's that's at least what I got. And she was calling him. She was calling Mel was calling Abby a piece of shit because she was like, you're trying to impress him or whatever. Like, everybody may fall for it, but I don't fall for it. You're always gonna be this piece of shit person. But that's where, like, that in that moment, in the story, like Abby is changing and she's becoming a better person, and
Yeah.
like Mel didn't give her that chance. And again, it's perspective, right? Like Mel doesn't know what doesn't know what Abby's going through. Um, but I felt like Owen should have stayed alive. I liked Owen.
Yeah, Owen should have. I really liked Owen too. Um, yeah, I feel like he definitely should have stayed alive for sure.
There was a cutscene where Owen tells, or I think, like I forgot what cutscene it was, but it was the cutscene between Abby and Owen, and like they they were pretty much talking about like when did we lose ourselves, like when did we lose like this humanity in us, and like that was kind of touching too.
Yeah, because Owen, he was basically done with everything. He just wanted to go off on his own. He was tired of fighting for something he didn't
Exactly.
believe
Yeah, exactly. Like I like that. I like that about him as well. Like he wasn't trying to fight for a side. He was like, I'm fucking done with this shit. I don't care about this. Like, and in a way, like the Fireflies, if you think about it, are kind of like, in a way, the last hope, because they're trying to find a cure and they're trying to save the world. And this is why I think the story's not done, because part two was about revenge and all these things. But I feel like part three, like we still need to figure out more about the Fireflies. We still need to figure out, like, we still need to continue like Ellie's story, that she's immune.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's one thing I didn't like about the game. They didn't dive into that more. Like, why is it just her, or is there
Yeah,
more people like
exactly.
her? Like why?
I
If it is just her, then why her? What's so special?
I wanted to, yeah, perfectly said. Like, I wanted to know more about the whole Kier thing, and I felt like this story focused too much on revenge and not like, I remember it was Nora. It was Nora. That was her name. Nora was like, "Oh, you're the one, you're the immune, like you're her." So like people have kind of known about Ellie, or have heard about her being immune.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I was like, "Yes, it's going to get deep, we're going to," but it doesn't really, like, it doesn't touch up too much on the whole cure and immunity thing.
Yeah, even when Dina finds out, she didn't really say too much about it either. She
Exactly.
just accepted it.
But she didn't believe it in the beginning when they were
Yeah,
having sex,
yeah.
and then
Yeah, until she until Ellie's mask broke, and then
yeah.
she was fine.
I remember
Then
that part. She was like, "I'll take off my," and then Ellie was like, "No, no, no, no! Like, I'm immune, this and that." She even told Abby that. She told Abby that. Remember that when Abby she had her gun pointed at Tommy, and Ellie was like, "You're after me. Like, I'm the one who's immune." Um, yeah. Hopefully, like, we do get to see a Last of Us Part 3. I would
yeah,
hope
for
so.
sure there will be.
And
I think
go
Naughty
ahead.
Dog's next title will honestly be a new IP for next gen.
Hmm.
Then we'll get a part three. Um,
I
most
have no problem
people,
with that.
yeah, most people think they're gonna do another Uncharted. I hope they don't. I think Uncharted ended on a high note.
Oh,
I think
dude,
it,
the
I think
way
it ended
the
perfectly.
way they finished Uncharted 4 was beautiful.
Yeah,
Like, they showed, the kids, and like, like the house, and like, yeah,
and his own business. He was fully retired.
it was beautiful, dude. Like, that was a beautiful ending. Close it there. And this is where I encourage, like, studios to, like, yeah, like you said, like, hopefully a new IP. Create a new IP, create a new story. We
Yeah.
already know that you guys are amazing at doing that. So, like, create something new that we get attached to and we fall in love with.
That's what I wish these Call of Duty devs would do, is just give them a chance to do something new. Like with the old Infinity War devs, they went off and created Titanfall.
I agree. I agree, because they're very talented. Like,
Oh yeah,
say what you want about Call of Duty, but like, they're fucking talented as hell, man. Like, a
oh
lot of
yeah,
the
they
a,
got
lo-
the best gunplay in the business, in my opinion.
a lot of these studios, they're so talented, dude. And if they just kind of maybe had like a better sense of direction or management, um, because a lot of this stuff is, the gaming industry is a business, and
Yeah.
profits, and meeting deadlines, and all these, like, impressing, the shareholders and everything. But for sure, like, if you look at Guerrilla Games and what they did with Horizon Zero Dawn after Killzone, like, dude, I applaud them
Crazy.
for that, because they went from a first person to, like, an open world kind of. Horizon Zero Dawn was amazing,
Mhm.
and that was a huge transition.
Yeah, but then we'll see with Sucker Punch. They went from Infamous to
Yep.
Ghost. We'll see about that.
Are you
And
gonna get that game?
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nothing really else to play until shoot, after Ghost. I don't even know what the heck's next.
That's Sony's last, like, big IP.
IP. Yep.
We're getting
I'm
there.
honestly shocked. Like we're almost midway through July, and we have not seen anything for the new Call of Duty. Like I'm honestly shocked we have not seen anything.
What's the rumors? It's Cold War.
It's just that's the only thing I've heard.
Yeah.
It's based in the Cold War, so like kind of like the first Black Ops, that type of era type of thing. I don't even know who the heck's making. I think it's Treyarch, but
Yeah.
I
I
know Sledgehammer's not doing it anymore.
I really like Modern Warfare, even though, like, I hop on once in a while now, but I really love that game. Like, the campaign was badass. It was a little short, but
Yeah,
dude, it was
the Call
like
of Duty campaign.
the new engine was sick. Like, I
Oh
really,
yeah, that's definitely
bro,
one of the games
that
I've seen in a long time.
exactly. I really like shit. The new Resident Evil engine is amazing too. Like, you
Oh
can you
yeah.
can tell all these like all these studios and stuff like that. They're, like, up in the game with the engines.
Hmm.
Um, That's why I want you to play Death Stranding, dude, because, like, it's the same engine as Horizon Zero Dawn, the Decima engine. Amazing engine.
Yeah, it's on its way.
I think it's one of the best. Oh yeah, you got the collector's edition.
Yeah, but
Nah,
yeah, I think there's very few games that get collector's editions for. Either has to be a really good deal or has to
yeah.
be a game I'm really excited for. Like God of War, I got that day one. Last of Us, I didn't get the collector's edition for that, but I did get the special edition, so I do have the steel book and the art
Hmm.
book. Um, I have the Halo 5 collector's edition. I mean, Halo is my favorite game of all time.
Yeah, I love
The very
Halo,
first one, Combat Evolved, I have to play that at least twice a year. It's like a little,
dude. I love Combat Evolved, man. Special game, special
yeah.
place in my heart for that game. It's
Even even the original graphics, they still hold up. Like it's
yeah,
insane. The game 19 years old and it just holds up. And there's games
not
newer than
just
that don't hold up that well.
not just the graphics, but the gameplay. Like, you know how you can
Game.
switch between, like, the current and, like, past, like,
Mhm.
and I did that a lot. But the fact that, like, you can switch to the old graphics, and just, like, the fluidity of, like, the game, it just feels amazing. Like, that
Yep.
game was ahead of its time, dude.
It
And
truly was.
Bungie is like, when it comes to first person shooter, like, I feel like Bungie is like, they hold that spot.
Yeah. Their gameplay and gunplay is just it's almost unmatched. Yeah, I
It
mean,
is.
say what you want about Destiny, it has insane gunplay.
Dude, Destiny is one of the reasons why I still like to play Destiny. And yeah, like you said, like, say what you want. I mean, I feel like they're trying to tap into that MMO market, and it's hard. It's hard to do it on console, but when it comes to gunplay, dude, it fucking
Mhm.
feels amazing. And one would argue, like, Doom is up there too.
Oh,
Doom is amazing, but it's different. Like, it feels
yeah,
different.
type of shooter. That's more of an adrenaline rush.
You don't really aim with Doom. It's all
Yeah,
kind of like
like
from the.
halfway on rails.
Yeah. That's more like chaotic, adrenaline heavy. Like, this is more like precise and feel.
Uh huh.
I'm happy you're getting the Death Stranding collector's edition though, because that collector's edition, I think, is my favorite. I have a few. I just like that. Like, we talked about sci-fi, how we both love sci-fi. Like,
Uh-huh.
that little baby in the pod, especially once you play the game and then, like, you have a real one. There's something geeky and special about that. Like, it's sick, dude. It's very, like, sci-fi reminiscent. Like, it's different. The whole game is different. The collector's edition, like, is different. Uh, it's cool, dude.
Do you think physical games will still be a thing by the time we get to the end of next generation?
Ah, man, I don't know. I don't know if you, I don't know if you know my take on this, but like, I love physical editions.
Yeah.
I love having like a library of games to look at and just kind of collect. To me, that feeling of like a physical copy like in my hand in a way makes me feel like I really do own that game. It's weird. Like that and the fact that, and I know this is kind of like super geeky, but like to me, like going and getting a physical copy, I've been doing that since I was a kid. So there's a nostalgia factor tied in with like, all right, I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna go pick up the game. I'm gonna go home, unwrap it, fucking smell the box, insert the disc. Like that whole
Most,
that whole process is part of the experience for me. I love it.
yeah, like I was saying, man, most these newer generation kids, they won't know the feeling of going to a video store on a Friday night, getting a couple movies, some popcorn, a game.
Exactly.
Then sooner or later, people are just gonna be buying their stuff digitally. So
I get the digital market, but I
yeah,
also don't like I get it and I understand it because I feel like that's where we're headed. But like I said, like there's something about having a physical, you know, it goes
yeah,
back to like Blockbuster days. It goes back to like
Blockbuster,
GameStop. I still shop at GameStop and
yeah.
say what you will, but like to me, GameStop is a game store, and that's the only game store that I have around me. I don't like to go
Still,
to Best Buy. What's that?
still only game store left.
Exactly. And like they still do midnight releases. So there's also that nostalgia factor of like, hey, I'm gonna go.
Well, it's not as bad as it used to be. Now it's 9 o'clock. They go off of Eastern.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. So you don't have to wait till midnight. You can go pick it up at 9. Like I love that. I love that whole part. It's kind of the kid inside me
I
that's
made a
still
lot of my friends from midnight releases.
same. Yeah, I've met some people.
I remember the Xbox One midnight release. Me and my friend, I think I was a junior or senior in high school, and and it was pouring rain. We were in his suburban with some fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Then we had to stand out there for like 90 minutes. We were just getting soaked. Freaking then I didn't pre-order one, so they had 6 extra ones, and I got number 6. So I lucked out.
That's crazy. Yo,
But yeah,
I got some memories with midnight releases. Like I remember waiting in line for an Xbox 360 back in the day, and without pre-ordering it, and they sold out, and there was like 3 people ahead of me, and I was like torn, dude, because I waited 8 hours in line.
uh,
Um, but one of my fondest like midnight release memories was like Grand Theft Auto 5. Dude, I remember it was
no,
insane the amount of people that were out there, like just the energy.
it's GTA,
Yeah,
man.
it's GTA. Like I love Grand Theft Auto, dude. As much
It's evolved
as
in pop culture,
it
man.
is, it is. I feel like it's milked the fuck out of, but that's another story, right? Like
Say what you want about how milked it is. I still say it's the most milked game of all time. It's
Skyrim.
Skyrim,
Dude,
dude.
I just talked about that the other day. Like, I don't know. Did you see that tweet? It was like there's rumors or,
I think had a post for it for PS5.
and I was like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Who would buy it still? Like who hasn't played
And some of
Skyrim?
my friends will, and I get it, dude. Like
Grand Theft Auto, I get because the online is still so popular, but Skyrim doesn't have it online.
you
What
can
is it?
fucking play Skyrim on an Alexa, dude.
Yeah, I would. Sooner or later, it's gonna be on a Tesla, like how Cuphead is. I would not.
Probably. I don't like to hate on, like if I feel like if my friends
Even as Todd Howard said, because he thinks someone asked Todd Howard, why do you keep re-releasing? He's like, 'cause people keep buying it.
and like you got to understand from a business perspective, like if the money's rolling in, same with Rockstar, dude. The Rockstar makes millions, like microtransactions on the side from online. So like if the money's rolling in, like you can't say no to the money. They don't care about the small voice of maybe the hardcore audience that is like giving them shit. bro, money talks. So Skyrim, I can see coming to the PS5, but at the same time, I'm still gonna laugh at it because it's fucking milked, bro. And I laugh in like a joking manner because if you want to go out and buy Skyrim, cool, but I'm still gonna kind of talk shit, and it's all friendly, man.
Yeah, dude. Like, it is, I guess. I'm just waiting for Elder Scrolls 6. I pray to God they upgrade their engine. I think they've been using the same engine since Fallout 3.
That's a good thing that you mentioned that. I kind of have lost a little bit of respect for Bethesda over the years, and one of the reasons why is because of that janky ass engine. It's like, dude, you guys have made so much money, and you're telling me that, and like you look at all these other engines that are coming out, and like how
go ahead,
how polished they are, and then like, yeah, I guarantee you by the time Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, it's a brand new engine. But I just feel like I'm tired of that engine, dude. I'm really tired of it.
Some people say it's the Bethesda charm, like, or it wouldn't be a Bethesda game.
It used to be, though. To me, it used to be.
I'm tired of it.
Like when Fallout,
like a 360 game, dude.
When Fallout 3 came out, and like when New Vegas came out, bro, I was in love with these games. And even Skyrim, like I love these games, but I feel
Fallout 4 I really liked.
Exactly. But I feel like there was a time for these games when they shined, and then when you look at all these other games that like that progress with engines, and then you look at fucking Bethesda, it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, are you guys gonna upgrade your shit or what? And to me, I've kind of grown tired of them a little bit.
Yeah, same. Like Doom.
They got cocky. They got.
But yeah, they got every company does once in a while.
Doom Eternal is beautiful though. Like that is.
Yeah, that's I think it uses the Vulkan engine.
Bro, that game is. I would say that's one of the best looking games. I mean, I feel like at the end of this generation, a lot of games are fighting for that. What game is the best looking game spot? I know Gears 5 is up there. Red Dead Redemption 2, Last of Us Part 2. I would say Doom Eternal's up there.
If I had to pick one, I would honestly say Red Dead. Just because it's all the meticulous little detail.
Yeah, it's
like bro, even the horse's genitalia freaking shrink, bro. Like that's detail right there.
Yeah,
your horse poops every once in a while.
That game is amazing.
The blood left on your shoulder when you carry an animal or a body.
I can talk about that game all day long. The attention to detail, the level of like, I couldn't believe it's native 4K, and to me, like, that game alone justified almost my purchase for that console, because at one point I was like, damn, dude, like.
Because that's one of the very few. I think that Middle Earth: Shadow of War was the very few games you can just notice the difference between the Pro version and the X version.
True.
Where most games you hardly see the difference.
I bought Red Dead 2 specifically for the X because when I heard native 4K, I was like, yeah, that's. I mean, I was already getting it there, but when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's impressive.
It's very impressive.
And it's an open world game, by the way.
Yep. It may be 30 frames, but still, it's insane.
Yeah.
But
what do you think about we're about an hour and 10 and what do you think about like 30 versus 60, like going into next generation? Like, do you care about 30 frames per second or?
It just depends the game, dude. I prefer 60, of course.
Of course.
I would love an option to where I can choose frame rate over graphics or vice versa. But
yeah, I agree.
I would, but it just depends the game. If it's a shooter, first person shooter, I want it to be 60.
Of course.
If it's a third person in an action adventure game, I don't really care.
What I've noticed, obviously with like the PS4 Pro and all that, is like, I think it's 1440p, right? It's not native.
Most of the time, yeah.
It's not native 4K, but it's not 1080. But if you can give me 1440 with 60 frames, I'm more than happy.
Yeah.
And then you add all of the, the technical, you know, stuff that they're going to add in next gen. Like, what, they're talking about these powerful CPUs. So, like, give me options. I would love options. Yeah, don't give me, like, here's the thing with these mid-level upgrade consoles, the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. It's like they focused a lot on graphics this generation, and like I'm a graphics whore in a lot of ways. Like I appreciate graphics, but at the same time, like they didn't pay a lot of attention to like the frames and the performance. And I've spoken about certain games like Days Gone and like Jedi Fallen Order, where like these games look beautiful, but like yeah, like they suffered.
Very janky, yeah. I feel like Fallen Order more so. Days Gone suffered more so from bugs.
For
I
sure.
feel frame rate. But yeah, Fallen Order, you can even on the X. I played that on the X.
I did too. I played
like,
it,
what's
bro.
up with the frame rate, man?
The frame rate was horrible. The jitters and like the stuttering of frames.
Got better with the patch, but still.
Yeah. I was disappointed, and it went back to like the whole like I get it, 4K is a buzzword and graphics look amazing and it sells, right? But I want to also pay attention to like the performance and like the frames and like,
Did you beat Fallen Order?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Even if you give me like a 30 frames but it's consistent, like I respect that. Like Death Stranding is a game I'll use for an example. Like it's a very consistent 30, man. Like it runs really well. I mean, Last of Us Part 2 runs really well.
Yeah, it does. Very polished.
Yeah.
What's the worst, like, what was the worst, like, almost unplayable game you've played this generation?
Are we talking
For me,
performance, or are we talking just like a bad game?
performance.
Performance?
For me, it had hands down goes to Ark Survival Evolved. Like that game.
I never played that.
That game, it went first. It was game preview on the original Xbox One. Like that game would dip into like the 10 FPS, then the 12 FPS range consistently. It was so bad. Like I asked my friends because my friends told me to get it. I'm like, how are you guys playing this? Like,
how do you get away with that though? Like, how do you?
Because it was a game. It wasn't a full release game. It was a game.
Okay.
Preview, like an alpha, but even the full release, it was still like that. I'm like,
you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of PUBG when it first got released on Xbox, and it was
just as bad.
Dude, I remember playing that game, and I was like, I can't. It's unbearable.
Some games that just shouldn't just stay on PC. Just keep them there. They don't belong here.
I get that they're in that stage where what is it called again? Where like it's not out completely. But
alpha beta testing.
Yeah, they have like a word for it for Xbox, but yeah, I get it. Like it's kind of an excuse in a way, but I also do kind of get it. Like, hey, this game is not like in parentheses out, right? But dude, yeah, I remember playing PUBG on Xbox, and I was like, bro, what the fuck? I can't even aim. I can't even shoot. I can't even move.
Yeah, PUBG has way too many controls to put on a controller. Like, I'm surprised that they did what they did. But I heard it's decent now, but it's just
that was a game I was hyped to play, and I bought it for Xbox because of what I saw on like Twitch, like people enjoying it on PC and stuff like that.
But yeah, I would say just go to Fortnite if people are wondering if they should get that or Fortnite on console. I'm like, Fortnite's free. It runs at 60. Get that. Or even Warzone now. You can just get Warzone by itself for free. So
yeah,
like that's 60 frames as well. So
are you excited for Cyberpunk 2077?
Oh yeah, I'm a sci-fi nut, dude. I'm getting Blade Runner vibes from this thing.
Fuck yeah.
It's just insane, dude.
So the rumors, or what I'm reading, I think, is that Cyberpunk 2077 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla are going to release around the same time. And a buddy of mine was asking me what I'm going to play. Bro, Cyberpunk all the way. Cyberpunk all the way, homie.
Like, yeah, it's only like you only there's a few developers you just know just
Exactly.
quality. Like
Exactly.
Ubisoft, you know what you're getting each time.
Dude, CD Projekt Red, I've said this before, like they give you they put like a thank you letter in their fucking game box. Like
Yeah,
nobody
and the
does
soundtrack.
to me that's passion. Like they're such a passionate studio. I love The Witcher 3 and this is another thing we talked about, new IPs like they're going from Witcher 3, which is like medieval third person to like this first person, cyberpunk world. Like, dude, you got to give them credit for that. I love that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
just there's just very few developers that just can just automatically use your automatic when you see their name, you're just this is gonna be insane.
Yeah.
Like them, Naughty Dog, this is Rockstar.
Rockstar for sure. I would argue that I wish Rockstar did go back to making a little bit more games.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna ask you
Like,
if they what do you think their next game would be, like new IP, but
dude, you know what I would love, and this is kind of like out of left field here, but back in the day, Rockstar had a game. I think they published it. It was called Thrasher Skate and Destroy.
the skateboarding game.
Yeah, and at the time, like it was supposed to compete a little bit with like the Tony Hawk games because the Tony Hawk games were, very popular, and this was like back in the day where like skateboarding was,
Rightfully so.
yeah,
Tony
very
Hawk.
mainstream. Like skateboarding was like at its highest, and Rockstar, dude, Thrasher was amazing, but Thrasher was like the skate of today. It was more realistic, like the physics and stuff like that, which I loved. I love both. I love Tony Hawk and Thrasher, but I don't think it did so well because Tony Hawk just had such a huge like podium. But I would love, and I don't think they'll ever do it, but I would love for like a skateboarding game from them. Uh, but I would love to see a Max Payne, dude. Like I want to play Max Payne again.
Pain,
Bully, uh,
Bully, they can Manhunt, they can do
or
another Midnight Club.
or just create a new IP. Like,
IP would be cool, would be crazy.
have you heard
I
the
don't even
room?
remember their last IP. I think their last new IP,
Uh
I don't
huh.
even know. 'Cause Red Dead Redemption was a follow up to Red Dead Revolver.
Yeah,
And I never played Revolver.
I never either. I played Red Dead Redemption 1. Amazing.
I didn't play that when it first came out. I played it for the first time when
I
it was backwards
I
compatible
don't
for
think
the
they I
X.
don't think they I remember that game coming out and I don't think they advertised that game the way like I was I was like, okay, it's an open world like cowboy style game. Like, all right, like I'll maybe I'll pick it up. Like I had no idea what that game was all about. And I remember picking it up and I was like, "Holy shit, this has Rockstar's signature all over it." And I fell in love with it.
Yeah, just
Yeah, I'd like
'cause
to
I
see.
had the first time I played Red Dead, it kind of fell off right when I got around Mexico. Found it kind of boring. Then that's all the gameplay for Red Dead 2, so I went back into it and I finished it. And it was
Yeah.
insane. It got really good once you get past Mexico.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a pretty long game too.
Yeah, Red Dead 2 1 was a really long game. Red Dead 2 is long as well, but I feel like that one was just 10 times
What
better.
I love about Red Dead 2, I mean, there's a million things I love about that game, but the fact that like it's it's uh it's pretty genius how they did it. Like they created John Marston, which everybody loved. They fell in love with this character. I thought he was done very well. He was like this dorky kind of like he wasn't a wise character. But he was a gunslinger. And then here comes Arthur Morgan, who's like this experienced older outlaw. Dude, he makes like John Marston feel like a kid. And I love that. Like I love playing as Arthur Morgan because he was like this older outlaw who's been around the game for a long time. And you know what I mean? Like I sense that. I sense that like experienced kind of rugged old dude who knows what he's doing. Fucking love that, man.
Yeah, I had bad vibes off my kids when the first time I saw him. I'm like, something's gonna go on with you. I already know it.
Yeah.
The vibe versus how the way you just talk and just handle yourself.
Rockstar
But
loves to kill their characters off, dude.
yeah, I mean GTA 5, you had the choice to do it, but
It does add a little bit more to like I guess the drama. Like when Arthur died, I was like, "Fuck, man."
yeah, I figured he would die because he wasn't in Red Dead 1,
Yeah.
and
Plus, he had
so
the what is it called? The that
it
what is
was
what is that
like a
called?
lung cancer type of
Yeah, which
thing.
was pretty popular back in the day.
Yeah, people smoked a lot.
That game is a fucking masterpiece, bro. Like
That's
hands
for me that
down.
yeah, for me that's my game of the generation. Next to
Yeah, it is. Like
honestly, next to Uncharted 4, I would say, because Uncharted 4 I've played at least 5 times.
I remember I jumped the gun in saying like The Last of Us Part Two the is the best game I played this generation, but
I mean, rightfully so, it's up there.
yeah, but it's just hard, dude. Like I love God of War. I fucking love
Yeah,
that game. So like to me, the top three, and I don't put them in any order. They're just like they're just equally, amazing. Is like Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War, and The Last of Us Part 2. Like
yeah.
to me, like those, excuse me, those are like above everything this generation. But I had so many favorites. Like I mean, Uncharted 4 was amazing. I want to go back and play that actually.
Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier. I'm a huge pirate dude. Like
Yeah.
I always say, Assassin's Creed Black Flag is a terrible Assassin's Creed game, but it is the best pirate game. Like it's insanely like the
I
ship
had fun.
customization and
I have fun with that
everything.
game. Yeah.
Sea of Thieves, you need a group to play. If you're
That's
playing by yourself, you're gonna be bored out of your
that's
mind.
the thing. I kind of wanted to get into that. I think the game is beautiful, and I think
Oh,
I,
it's one of the
it's one of
best
those.
looking art
Yeah,
games I've seen.
it's one of those games that like you definitely need like a team. You need friends to play, for sure.
But if you had to give The Last of Us 2 a score, what would you give it?
I give it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
Yeah, I would.
If I had to
Like a
score it,
confident 10 out of 10.
if I had to score it, I would give it an 8.5.
Really?
Mainly, what took it away
Mhm.
was, like I said, just Jesse being killed off so fast.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't care that even though I got Ellie's reason for revenge, I felt like she had no growth. Like she had growth, but I feel like just her character was the same throughout the entire game. She just
Yeah.
was hell bent on revenge. So where Abby,
Mhm.
you just see her, she got her revenge for her dad. Then you slowly see her just
Change.
transition from
Yeah.
this brute to this. Just you see, oh, she's just a regular person, just trying to survive like everyone else. And but
I
everything
think
else
I
at 10 graphics,
this
gunplay,
is
sound.
this is where like I really respect both sides because um I it's such a crazy thing to talk about because I totally get where you're coming from. You're like and you make a great point. And then like here's my argument to Ellie is like they gave us a story of this girl who like at sh- it didn't matter the cost. And
Yeah.
and if you go back to the scene where you're Abby and you're fighting Ellie, that was like a boss fight. And Ellie's
Yeah,
the bad guy. Like this game,
that was intense.
I think this game almost in a way is leaving. It's almost obvious that it's leaving room for a part three, and
Oh yeah, for sure.
like I think they wanted to portray Ellie as this character that you may not relate with, you may hate, you may lose hope for, and I think they did that on purpose to bring in Abby, to bring in this character where you empathize with, sympathize with because she killed Joel. Like it all kind of ties in together very well, and I think at the end of the day, I still love Ellie as a character. I still,
Oh yeah,
I,
I still like her.
I still care about her so much. Like even in the end where dude she put the knife towards Lev and she was like
Yep.
fight me. I was like that's almost like a fuck you move to the character. You know, if you think about it, like for those who love Ellie so much, like, but even then, like I understood her. Like she had this pursuit of like vengeance and to stop at nothing. And I kind of understood it. Like I kind of understood it because of how much Joel had an impact on her. And that's where like when you really like break down the story, there's so many emotions and there's so many things that take presence. And I could have a conversation with you and I can understand your point of view and I can have mine. And that's, I think that's the beauty about this game is that like it was created in a way where you can have these conversations and you can dive very deep into the story, and a lot of people are going to hate it and love it. um I think the reason I give it a 10 out of 10 is because I look at this game from an overall package. All right.
Yeah.
Story, sound, gameplay, animation, graphics, everything. Everything is top notch. Everything is like industry, like setting the bar high, you know, in the industry kind of material. And that's why I give it a 10 out of 10.
I feel you, man. Like it's if when people give it that score, I see why. Like it's totally justified. And what I like about this game a lot is just that the whole time there's no real like main enemy. Like
Mm-hmm.
everyone is pitted against each other. It's just just a survival, and you see what they're going through on both sides. You see like
Exactly.
okay, I see you doing this. That's one thing. When someone said that, I'm like, I did not even think about it like that. Like, there's not really besides the infection, the real enemy is just the people.
It is. It is. Like, do you remember the first game where I forgot that guy's name, the gay guy that what's his name? Yeah. He was like, the infected don't scare me, the people do. And
Yeah.
like I remember that, and like I felt like that was such a important kind of statement, because like in this world, yeah, there's the infected, but like the people are the most barbaric. The
Oh
people
yeah.
are the ones that are killing each other off. And like you would think in a world where like there's not a lot of people left, like you would come together and you would try to work together. But like I feel like it depicts like a realistic scenario of like how like lost humanity can be,
Yeah.
especially in like a post-apocalyptic setting where like you would think people will come together, but they're not. There's sides, and there's a very tribal like mentality of like, this is my team, and if you're not a part of it, like you're the enemy. And yeah, that's a great way to look at it, is like there are no good or bad characters. It's just a story, and this was just a story and a perspective, and I fucking loved it, man. I loved it
Yeah, definitely a once in a generation type of game.
for
That and
sure.
Red Dead, in my opinion.
Red Dead, for sure, dude.
Just God of War as well. I think I still prefer God of War is an amazing game. I gave that game like I think a 9. But I still say my favorite God of War is still the third. Just all the boss fights in that game. Just a huge adrenaline rush.
God of War 3 was really good.
Even the remastered port for
Yeah.
on PS4 still looks insane.
God of War is another one of those games where I feel like Sony kind of approached the more like immersive and story driven kind of, like I really like the over the shoulder camera. Um I really like that a lot. Like when I play Red Dead, I don't play, like if you go back to Red Dead 1, the camera angle is a little bit far out, but if you play Red Dead, you can change the camera angles, and I always play the closest up because I like that immersion.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like you're really close to the character, and I feel like you're really immersed. But yeah, man. All right.
What do you feel the most underrated game this generation.
I've said this before. I would definitely put Dishonored 2 up there.
Dishonored.
Dishonored, yeah,
Yeah.
the second one.
Second one. Yeah, I would say for me it's either Dying Light is up there.
I
I
love
think
Dying Light, dude. I love that game.
Order 1886, it does have its faults, but I feel like that game
It definitely has
just
its faults, yeah.
that game was really good. I personally really liked Until Dawn. I thought that game was really fun.
That was fun. I remember
Yeah,
that.
I beat that like 5 times just so I can get the perfect ending.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
These are some good
God,
ones.
another one that just at the tip of my
The
tongue.
order the Order 1886 I felt like has so much potential, but they just like I don't know. I felt like a sequel would have been very
Yeah,
deserving, but
I feel like
they
that game should have had player. Just the gunplay and just the types that they had were so cool.
the reason I say Dishonored 2 just because I feel like a lot of people they talk about how they want more stealth games and this game is like a really good stealth game. But I feel like a lot of people shy away from first person for some reason. But that like and the combat in that game is really good too. And the art design is is freaking beautiful. Like that game I feel
Uh,
like deserves a lot more credit.
Jeremy, he's playing through that for the first time right now.
Nice.
But yeah, what was that game? Fuck. Alien Isolation, I feel, was underrated.
I never
Um,
played that, dude, and I want to play that.
you get that thing for like $4 or $5. It's
It's on
talk
Games
about
Pass.
It is on Game Pass, yes.
Should I play? Is it worth it?
If you're an alien sci-fi guy, just be aware it's a survival game. It's kind of like Outlast, but with an alien setting. You have no weapons.
And that sounds even crazy. Like that sounds sick. I just never
Have
got
radar from the original movie with the blimps and everything. So you just it's an insane experience.
really.
Especially games you have to wear headphones with to get the full
Is
immersion.
it a survival horror? Like, does it have those mechanics?
Oh, yeah, you're just trying to get off the space station, and an alien's on the loose. You have the alien to go against. You
This
also have to worry
is
about these AI cyborgs.
this is a game that I've heard people talk highly about, and
I mean, it doesn't need a sequel, but I would love a sequel.
yeah, yeah, I
Same thing
gotta
with
check this out.
Out- Outlast did not need a sequel. It was just one of those games that just it didn't need. Because I don't know if you played Outlast 2, but it was not that great.
No, Outlast 2 was not good at was not as good as the first one, for sure.
One of those games where they didn't expect it to be so big that they didn't know how to carry this.
Dude, Outlast 1 was fucking good, man, and like it had me a lot actually
Even the
in some
DLC,
moments.
the whistleblower DLC, that
The
was great.
whistleblower,
hmm
yeah,
Then
dude,
I feel. Well,
that was that.
go ahead.
That's
I was gonna say. I was gonna say. I feel this generation was the best. Kind of like last generation was a. Last generation, I feel, wasn't that great for single player oriented games, but it was great for
oh
multiplayer.
yeah, for
I feel
sure.
this generation was just reversed that. It was horrible for multiplayer games, but it was great for single player games.
Dude, this generation to me goes down as the best generation. And I've been playing games for like 26 years, bro. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
you said it perfectly. Like last generation there was a lot of multiplayer. I was mainly on 360, like the Gears, the Halos, the
Call of
um
Duty.
for sure. Like and then this generation for sure. Like I think at the end of the day I do appreciate single player a little bit more.
Yeah, dude.
But
Because like especially like the internet would ever go down, like you
yeah,
can't play any multiplayer games.
to the like I felt like we've been fed so many great single player games to the point where like I actually miss playing multiplayer games. Like I
Yeah,
miss
like,
I'm trying to get people on Destiny. Like let's get a group, let's play, let's talk.
yeah,
Like I miss that shit, dude, cuz I've been
dude.
playing so much single player games this generation and they've been amazing, dude, for sure.
Like, cause like the like most of the all the multiplayer games this generation was all the same. Like they all try to copy each other, especially when Fortnite blew up
And
when
then
Ninja was
the battle royale for sure formula.
the only game I really enjoyed multiplayer wise, Halo 5 was a good one. That lasted okay until the community kind of died off. But Rainbow Six Siege was the best multiplayer game this generation.
Yeah, I think it has a pretty strong community still.
Say what you want about Ubisoft this generation, they stay supporting their games. Like they're still supporting Siege, they're still
True.
supporting For Honor. They're
That's true.
so that, but and they've come out with a lot of IPs this generation. Like they came
I
out
feel
with,
like I feel like Ubisoft is one of those companies that I respect and I give them shit a little bit sometimes because I do feel like
too many IPs.
they do. They have this is my opinion on Ubisoft. I think they're a big ass company and I think they do focus a little bit more on quantity than quality. But
like, they need to sell some of their titles just to focus on just a handful.
Like, dude, Splinter Cell, where the fuck is that at? Like,
exactly. We get one Splinter Cell game this entire generation.
I know, man. No Splinter Cell. I love Prince of Persia.
I'd be afraid of what they would do because even the newer Tom Clancy games, they aren't that good.
Bro, Tom Clancy back on the 360 were fucking good. Like Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, bro.
The Xbox, dude. There's old G Splinter Cells
Dude.
and the OG Ghost.
Yeah, and that's where I do kind of point fingers at Ubisoft because I feel like they have a lot of IPs that they don't do anymore, and they also like the quality in their games. Like, don't get me wrong, they have like they spend a lot of money on graphics. They spend a lot of money on like IPs and stuff like that. But like, so they have that covered. But like when it comes to like the actual quality, when it comes to the game, they do fall short sometimes.
They have a couple gems. Like I thought Far Cry 5 was really good.
I like Far Cry 5. I liked it a lot. But when it comes to like, for example, Far Cry 5, let's take that. I really like the whole like you're in America, you're fighting this cult, but like the gunplay was like
wasn't that
yeah, it wasn't like compare gunplay to that and like fucking Destiny, for example. I know you're not gonna get close, right? But it could have been done a little bit better. I felt like the gameplay for sure.
Yeah, like even with Siege, the gunplay is still kind of clunky, but it's definitely their better gunplay work.
They do too much. They have racing, they have first person, they have open like they got
Ghost Recon, they got the Division, they got Beyond Good and Evil now. They got
Ghost Recon is just not what it used to be, and I wish.
I thought the story was kind of weak, but the open world was pretty cool. But Breakpoint was complete garbage.
Yeah,
But I feel like out of all their IPs, the Division has the most promise.
The Division is cool. I played a lot of the first one. The Division 2, I didn't play too much of just because.
Same.
Yeah, I like the whole like MMO approach. I really do, and I feel like one, it's hard to do on console. Two, I feel like they don't know. Okay, the whole MMO thing is hard to do because it's like on one side for the casual audience, they're going to have a lot to do. On the other side, the hardcore audience that plays a lot every day, they're going to hit a wall and they're going to be like, I don't know what else to do. So it's very hard to like cater to both of that.
I don't know how the Division 2 is, but with the Division 1, I like the Dark Zone a lot. It was really cool. It was a cool concept.
I did.
How you have to extract your loot and you have to wait.
Yeah.
You have to wait there and there's a chance that someone else can kill you and take your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool. And I like the setting too with New York in the wintertime.
Yep.
But
I like that too.
But I'd say that I do agree with their decision to not make a new Rainbow Six. They're just going to continue to support Siege and just put it on next generation. I think that's a smart move.
Nice. Yeah, so you know a little bit more about me than about Ubisoft.
I mean, they used to be one of my favorite developers back when Assassin's Creed was really good, but
I had my I'm sorry. I had my fair share of talking shit though when I remember playing like I love Assassin's Creed Origins. I loved Egypt. I loved it way more than Odyssey, but like the amount of microtransactions that were shoved into a single player game, bro, like, and they did it on purpose. They hid like the cool items like behind like money. And I was like, bro, what the fuck are you guys doing, man?
I mean, then Battlefront 2 came out with EA, and everyone saw
Dude.
how bad that went, and they were facing
Yeah.
legal charges. Now I think the gaming industry knows not to go too far. That's
Yeah.
another game where it had a really bad start, but today it's a completely different game. Like Battlefront 2 is an insanely good game now.
I should check that out. And that's one of the things in today's like standards is like if it's all about first impressions, and for a lot of people, like if you don't nail that
And rightfully so, dude. It was Battlefront 2 was horrible at
yeah,
launch.
like a lot of people are not going to come back and give you a second chance.
I mean, I wouldn't have if I wasn't so bored, but I would say if you're a Star Wars fan, definitely check it out. It's probably
Yeah,
one of the best multiplayer Star Wars games you can get as far as modern games go.
nice. You want to wrap this up?
Let's wrap it up, dude.
Let's wrap it up, man. Hey, I had a great time, dude. I love talking about video
Same,
games,
dude.
man. And we definitely have the same energy, and kind of we definitely play a lot of video games, so we know what we're talking about. So it was cool.
What was your first console? For me, mine was the original Xbox. I was 7 years old. I got
Bro,
it
my
for my birthday uh, with Halo. Like I remember I played it at my cousin's house. I'm like, oh, I gotta get one of these.
my first console was the Super Nintendo, man. So I go way back.
I mean, I played them all. I have older brothers. They
Yeah,
had the N64, GameCube. They even had a Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was super cool. I believe the Dreamcast was decades ahead of its time.
I
Um,
agree. I agree. The
but
Dreamcast, people were not ready for that
it was
console,
way
dude.
too ahead of its time.
For
But if that
sure.
came out, like, it would be a super hit. But yeah, I remember Halo was a big part of my part of growing up because me and my all my cousins had them. We would have LAN parties at my cousin's
Exactly.
house,
Bro,
freaking trash
I
talk.
was in high school when I had the Xbox, the original Xbox, and Halo came out, and like this was before Halo 2 where you can do Xbox Live. So everybody was doing LAN parties, and like dude, it was insane, man. It was like
Going piling in a car with your friends or your
yeah.
family, going to soda,
Spending the night at your friend's house.
night, staying up all night. Those kids today will not get that. It's just
They
kind of
won't,
sad.
man.
I feel like we grew up in the right time. Just nothing.
We grew up during a time where it was before a lot of this like internet stuff, to be honest. And
So I still believe social media just ruins.
it
It
does in a
ruined.
way.
It ruins society in a really bad way. I mean, it's good for some things, but you look around you
I
now.
agree
If you're
with you.
walking, see people glued to their phones.
I think you can take. This is the thing, man. I believe in a balance in life,
Exactly.
and like a little too much of anything is not good for you.
Even
Like
if it is a good.
exactly, and you could take the good out of social media and be like, well, it connects us, but at the same time, it's like it also does a lot of harm, especially for the
Yeah,
younger, kids who like grew up on this shit. Like me and you, we grew up in an era where like, all right, it was maybe
I
rising,
remember
right, or it's coming up.
like I remember with us, it was barely starting. Like, Facebook wasn't around till like 07, 08.
Yo,
It was MySpace before then, and even then it was emails. Phone still weighed like 5, 6 pounds.
I'm so grateful that I grew up in a generation before all this shit, man. I really am.
Too, dude. Like even like I see people outside just glued to their phones, not talking to their family or whatever. I'm like, bruh, freaking what are you doing? You're out in the
I know, I know,
public,
man.
do nothing. Like
Yeah.
it's just insane. I don't know. I feel it's insane. But I'm glad I grew up in the early 2000s.
So we covered The Last of Us Part Two, and we went a little bit ahead and or further and talked about some cool
Gaming
stuff
stuff.
coming down, man. We should definitely do this again. Um, maybe when like around events. Like I'm gonna watch the Xbox in July. It was July 23rd. I'm gonna watch that. Maybe we.
My birthday.
Oh no shit! Nice,
It's
dude.
my cool. Get to see get some Halo on my birthday,
Maybe
bro.
we'll do another podcast and we can talk about the things that we saw and we liked. Maybe
Yeah, that's
I definitely want to do more of these, man. I had a great time.
fun, dude.
But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for your time, bro. I really appreciate
Problem,
it.
dude. Dude. Anything to get away from this crazy world we live in right now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, brother. Have a good night, man.
All right, bro. I'll catch you later.
Thank you guys. If you stop by, appreciate it. Take it easy.